We're at hole 1, Capitol Springs, Madison, Wisconsin. Throwing a DGA Shasta Shock here on hole number 1. Getting to about 18 feet. The wind's ripping a little bit though. I'm not a super confident putter, but you can see my shirt flapping in the breeze there. I'm going to try and give this a go, and did not commit to it. So, even after 1. Hole 2 is a blind shot. Throwing a DGA steady on a little hyzer. I'm going to be on the far side of the pin, so I'm putting back at it. About a 20-footer, putting back. Little tailwind, easier putt, and we cash it. So -1 after 2. Hole number 3 is about 330. I'm going to throw a Predator, and I do not get the best wind read. I was feeling headwind, and it's more of a right to left headwind, and didn't commit to the shot, so we're left with about 40 back straight into the headwind. Lining it up, catching metal, just not committing to the shot. So still at -1. About 270 on hole 3. So we're going to take a putter with a tailwind. A granite steady. Get good height on it. The tailwind's going to push it over a little bit, but I'm about 33 feet past. So another headwind putt. You can see I'm just not committing these putts into the headwind right now. So still at -1. Going into hole 5, got a right to left wind, maybe a slight right to left tailwind, about 275 uphill. Playing more like 325. I'm throwing a Missy Gannon Undertaker. And doing what I got to do on this hole. Getting it right by the basket. We're just going to pick up the driver and tap it in for a 2. So we're -2 after 5. Hole 6 is about another 240 or 250. At least he plays like 240 downhill. I'm throwing the Shasta Shock again. Thinking that I can probably get pushed down by the wind, but it glides out a little bit on me. I missed hitting record on the putt, but I did make it from about 26 feet. So hole 7 uphill about 225, playing more like 240, 250. Again with the Shasta Shock. Get it nice and high to get it up the hill. You can see it just check up right next to the wood chips. So I got about a 10-footer for a birdie. So a pretty decent little recovery after the first couple holes. Hole 8. There's a ripping left to right headwind on this hole. It's all the way on top of the hill. I tell myself not to throw it wide, but I throw it wide. And I'm out right, about 28, 29 feet, just putting straight back into a headwind. I'm already not feeling super confident about what's going on here. And you can see it in the putt. I just do not commit to it. Just going to take a crystal zone out for number 9. It's about 240 downhill. And I end up throwing it about 275 or 280. So I got a jump putt coming back with the left to right wind. Feel pretty good about this kind of putt. And cash it in. So we're at 4 under after 9. Hole 10 is 275 uphill. Throwing a Z Undertaker, and I get 0 turn off this disc. I end up leaving it well left of the pin. It never flattened out. So I've got about a 27-footer. I commit to the putt, but the wind didn't push me down the way I thought it would. So it's on to the next hole. This one is a pretty tricky downhill shot. I'm trying to throw that inside gap I get most of it, but I'm still edge of the circle, left of the pin. And again, a tricky left to right crosswind here. I give it a decent bid, but cannot put it inside the basket. Here's one of my favorite holes in all of Madison. Hole 12 at Cap Springs. Throwing a DGA squall. Just on a nice, gentle hyzer. It's about 315 to the pin, and I throw it 315, about 5 feet to the left. Cash it in for a birdie. That's always a fun one to get. Hole 13. This would be considered a shank for me. It's only about 200 feet, and I threw it way right into the woods. But I have a circle's edge putt, so we're coming back at it. Able to make this one work out for me. And 14 is a short uphill turnover shot, which is kind of tough for me. I need a slightly more understable putter to throw flat and turn up the hill, but I got about a 27 footer. I'm looking at a birdie at least. And in the bucket. Here's hole 15. It's about a 230-foot turnover shot, right to left, into the trees. I kind of round it off a little bit, and leaves me not the greatest putt. Again, near circle's edge. In the weeds a little bit, so I got to take a kind of awkward stance. I've got stuff underneath me. I gave it a decent try, hit the top of the basket, but at least I didn't miss low. Here's hole 16, 200 foot, just barely downhill, but it's an island hole. Throwing a DGA steady. And smack the front of the cage. Would have been a sweet shot. I was only about a foot or two away from getting an ace on camera. Would have been legendary. The first round I ever filmed of myself playing and get an ace. But hole 17 is about 285 uphill. I'm throwing a Missy Gannon Undertaker. Great straight disc. Put myself in great position to get the birdie. Got about 15 feet and take my time and put it in the basket. So we've got a pretty decent round going after the front nine. And hole 18 is about 285 down the hill. I'm throwing a crystal drone just so I can kind of control the distance. There is still a left or a right to left wind. I put it inside the circle. Got one last chance for a birdie. So let's see if I can come home with it. Pretty decent. Cash it in. I'm going minus 11.